In this week's video, we're going to go ahead and show you how to attach a foot to a piece that is ready to be trimmed. The only difference is this one's going to be a time-lapse version with a voiceover, and this voiceover is not scripted. It's going to be talked about as the video is played. Sit back and let me know how you like this in the comments. So we're going to go ahead and center our piece first. So we pick it up and flip it upside down. And normally I do tap centering, but this one was a little hard because it's so flat. So I'm just shifting the piece as it rotates. Then I got my wads, roll it out a little thinner. And I'm going to go ahead and secure the piece by placing one hand on top and using my other hand to apply the coil down until it's secure. And then I get my X-Acto knife and I cut off the excess to create a true centered edge. And then my trimming tool, going to go ahead and then clean up the outside to prepare it to receive the coil that will become the foot. So I'm just removing a little bit from the outer edge, the bottom, the side, and then I get my coil, place it on top, and rip off the excess I don't need, and then basically get it prepared for the exact size and shape. Then I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife, bevel the two ends to remove the excess, straighten it out, and then take my X-Acto knife to draw where the edge will be, and then take my scratch and score tool and start scratching and scoring the entire area where the coil will sit. And if you guys seen this in the last video, this looks like a rake. You could use a needle, but I prefer this. And then I scratch and score the bottom of the coil as well. And it's really important to scratch and score because that makes sure your piece will stick properly. Then I add a little slip by tapping it on, and then I have the smart idea of trying to pour it, and then oh my goodness, I had a little too much. So then I ended up just spreading it out, and that wasn't planned. I wanted to coat only in the scratch and score marks, but you got to do what you got to do. Scratch and score the ends, dip it in that excess slip, and then I go ahead and start lining it up, compressing, and then now I'm starting to pat it down. You can kind of hear it in the audio, that humming noise. And so I'm really trying to compress the clay here with the sponge and push it down. And then I am actually starting to throw the piece. So I'm compressing the sides to make it rise in height so I can actually start thinning it out and getting ready to define the shape. And so from here I switch camera angles so you can see the height that it's gained. And then I use a torch to dry it just so it has a little more stiffness, because I'm about to cut off the top and then start trimming the excess edge as if it was attached to the piece from the beginning. And so the benefit of using the torch is the wet clay won't stick to the plate as much. And then I'm going to go ahead and start trimming the bottom to remove a little bit of the clay weight from there, because I had a little wiggle room just to kind of lighten it up. And then cleaning up the inside to basically define this to the exact style of foot I'd like to see. And then you can see my fluffy hair popping into the overhead cam, and right here just kind of touching up the sides, cleaning it up. And then I just use the X-Acto knife to bevel the inside edge because I noticed that it was a little off, drying it out a little more because it is a little sticky, and then just doing some finishing touches by removing the clay from the inside, getting a defined bottom over there, and then just taking all the little bits apart. And finally smoothing out a little bit because the inside is done. So now I'm going to go ahead and adjust the outside. So finishing touches, and oh, just kidding. One more pass through the inside with the larger trimming tool, cleaning that up. And then I believe I'm going to start the outside, and oh, nope, cutting the top off because it was too tall again. And then smoothing out a little more. Well, then here we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and start creating the undercut on the outside. And that's something that I like to do to my feet. It allows me to have a little edge for me to grip with my hands when I grab the foot. And it just gives it a little more of a flair, so it's not just a straight walled foot. And then final compressions, final smoothing, buffing, and then with the brush clean up any bits that the trimming tool of my fingers could not get. And then finally pop off the wads, and then final smoothing with the wads out of the way. So I hope you enjoyed this time lapse with the voiceover on top with no rehearsing. And if you like these kind of styles of videos, let me know in the comments below and I can make some more. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.